int add push back. Instead of push back, I want to do something else. I want to access. I don't think I'm using the return value. Don't think I am. Yeah, I think that I don't not use the return value. But then again, of course, I am. So let's see whether that is. I think just one template function. One template function. Maybe two template functions by now, but this one is storing. Huh? Oh, wait. I was working on that. Right. No, well, apparently I'm not using it at all. Next, we want to move all the ads to the .cxx file. Yeah, not this one. Did I just copy this on or not? Damn it. I copied, yeah, I did. 2 more adds here. That were all the adds. And I still have to remove the bodies here. Did I just delete this here? Something in between? Undo, 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 undo. Yeah. Stupid. This is a while. What was I thinking? That's what I wanted to do. So now I have like 6 adds that end on semicolons, and every time in between we have something that gets it, or below every add. So add this vector, and then below that I have something that returns that vector. And below this one there's no other add. That's even the last method. Yep, so that seems to be correct. And then we have to change all these adds into substitute add with flat create info. And then now we can uncomment this one and then include a header that defines this. No, actually, that defines characteristic range. Surprisingly, that is defined in CharacteristicRange.h. Does that also define my characteristic range index, or did I already define it? I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, the CM is below this. Pipeline directory. I just pick everything up, so I have to run configure to regenerate that, and then we can do make. Oh, yeah, A4. So you ordered it in China. Now, what's next? Now all the adds are being called with a characteristic range index, and then instead of a push back, I want to use that index as the index into this this vector. Now, if the size was already correct, I'm not sure that is the case. Now let's first write whatever is needed. If the size is correct. This dereference, there's a dereference of this right axis type that I think gives me a non-const reference to the vector. So I can just write directly into the vector then. But now I have to make sure that the size is that it will fit. Maybe I should make it to make it the responsibility of the characteristic object to give it the correct size. Oops, and then I can add here added vectors must be how do you say that? Pre-allocated. Yeah, so actually INT returns the size of the vector, and that has to be equal to the width of the range, like I just wrote. So I'm gonna have the owning characteristic range, and then from that I want to get the width of the range, something with width. Range width. It returns an unsigned int. No, wait, that's a bit width. A range with the number of bits that you need to store. Store the index. I mean, I have no idea what IBegin can be, so I guess I should I'm just going to treat it as an offset. So I have IBegin and IEnd on the characteristic range. So INT should be 1 past the end. So this difference is the number of possible the number of possible values of the fill index. And that should then be equal to the size of the vector that we have here. Added vectors must have a size that corresponds to, let's not call it width, but corresponds to the size, I guess, of the range. Yes. Now the characteristic range index it doesn't make any sense what I'm doing. Nope. I'm confusing two indexes. This returns an index type, which is what type? Is an int. That's totally something else. Okay, let's keep this for later. My flipped create info needs to know how many characteristics there are. I think this characteristic range index runs from the returned value here and runs from 0 till the number of characteristics that have been added to the associated pipeline factory. I think the only thing we know at most is the pipeline factory. Or not. I want to pre-allocate these things. Currently they are just being created when the flat create info is being constructed. Yeah, with the default constructor. Let's have a look at where that default constructor is being called from. I guess here. No, that's a pointer. Here, it's a pipeline factory. Yeah. So each pipeline factory has a flat create info object. The moment that the pipeline factory is created, the flat create info is created. Then I don't know the size yet, because only after that we add characteristics. So this is going to be called a few times. Is there anything else that is going to be called after that? I don't know. Let's grab for that as well. Nope. Add characteristic. This is called from the user code. Probably not. Generate is being called. Okay. Yeah, so we can use generate to allocate the flat create info vectors. And then every time add characteristic is being called, because I still have to count them. We just added to m characteristics. Yeah, so m characteristics has a certain size, and then when generate is being called, I have to pass that to the flat create info. Let's go generate here. Nope. Signal fully initialized. Right. But yeah, I want to abuse it anyway, so yeah, it was just a flat create info, right? Like m flat create info. Then generate. What I can do is flat create info dot set a number of characteristics, and that number is then equal to characteristics dot size. So then the flat create info. Flat create info gets a new member, a public member, which is called pretty early. These are all variables. So here we have the, must be called before the add. Void size type, number of characteristics. Flat create. Yeah. And then we can change the size of all these vectors. Let's make a copy of all of them. Two more. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, apparently. Let me check that. So here I count 6, yeah. Then we get merge, so I guess there's not another one following. And then we have to call resize the number of characteristics on them. Now if we just resize the vector, it has to fill it with elements, of course. And it will just use a default constructor of the elements, but they are pointers. But okay, if it doesn't have a default constructor, it fills it with zeros, and so I hope. So now we get all null pointers for every characteristic that we don't use. Actually, this is kind of a stupid way to do it, because now I lock the mutex here, and then I access it, and then I don't use it anymore, but the mutex is stayed locked all this time. I could of course put braces around it, unlock it. It doesn't really matter, by the way. I can just, I don't know, but I think I should either lock everything and then set everything and then unlock everything, or I can just use temporary, which means that I should replace this with a temporary and then use that. Oh, it even fits better on one line, so why not? The temporaries are destructed at the semicolon of that statement. So now it looks the mutex, calls resize, and then resize returns. We are at the end of the statement, and then the mutex is unlocked again. I mean, then the temporary WAT, the right access type, is destructed, which unlocks the mutex. Nobody knows what happened here. I just have to delete all of this. Right, okay, so now they are filled with null, and then I can just assign. So this thing is now has the right size, and so I can just assign to the given index, changing the null pointer into whatever is added. And then the correct assert is, well, I don't think we really should need an assert here anymore, but Let's add, yeah, shall I add an assert? Shall I add an assert? I think I shall add an assert, because otherwise you do some kind of weird out of range error. So if this fails, then we probably didn't call generate. Did you call example code generate this? What the hell is being passed there? Pipeline factory. There's a generate without anything. And a graph, no. I guess it's a handle we have there. Let's use that. Did you call window on, yeah, on what? Pipeline factory. Seriously? Looks like a pipeline factory, not like a handle. The create pipeline factory returns a factory handle. No, okay. No, I guess. So, did you call that on the handle returned by create pipeline factory? Which is a member of synchronous window. Is it? No, it's the only one. Right, well, yeah. Shall I repeat this comment for every assert? Because if you know which one is being called. But oops, undo. I guess I'll just copy it and paste it everywhere, including this. No, I think that. Oh wait, that's not what it is. It should be. It's like that, right? And that's just the characteristic range, which I made there. So probably a better way to do it is, can you just copy paste it and replace something? What's the difference between these two? This is different. No, too confusing. I guess I could have avoided all this work if I just had a general name everywhere. But yeah. It's got to be separate code anyway. Or does it? Because, you know, theoretically you could make this a template. But then I would have to convert somehow the type into a different variable. This variable is different every time. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just start with checking if it compiles. Using data type, class, standard, vector, has no member I end. It is a vector. Yeah, I want to change all 6 now into so the wrapper vector here must become something else. And well, a utils vector. And that means that all of them also must have the characteristic range index. I guess that would be before this less than. Larger than, I mean. Again, all 6. Substitute const star. No, that seems to match everything. I want to replace it with const star, comma. Characteristic index. That's larger, right? Like this. What the? No matching function. To call Vulkan pipeline flat create info merge const blah Vulkan pipeline flat create info pipeline shader states create infos list type reference. Okay, merge, yeah. Merge takes these lists, and the lists are now a different type. So merge must take a different type as well. But here, of course, everything that is standard vectors has to be changed. Oh. Unless it's push constant ranges, maybe, or am I wrong? No, that's another merge. This merge is push constant ranges. So we're just not calling merge for that type. Utils vector, comma, the characteristic range index. I have no idea which vector has to change here, so I'll just let the compiler figure it out. The other one, however, does need changing, I think. This must be utils vector. I hope. No, I'm not even sure about it, but I think these are pointers. Pointers to this type. They point into this array. So these types must be the same as this type. Maybe I should use a using here. They start to become big. Let's do that. So we have a vector of Vulkan push constant ranges. It's being added, and we have that here. Using okay. Good name. What is a good name here? This is a vector of vector pointers. And now this vector is for each characteristic. So it's the per characteristic list of push constant range. Almost the same thing, but then unwrapped. I think what I did before is I type unlocked in front of it. So this is the locked version because it is wrapped inside my AI thread save wrapper. And then the unlocked version is simply that. Yes, and then this is an array of that unlocked stuff. And these are then pointers to that. Yeah. Let's try to compile again. Still not working. A member function. Standard vector, some return type, get pipeline shader stage, create infos. No matching function for call to flood create info merge. Oh, still. Cons reference to a pipeline shader stage create infos list. Candidates. A wrapper. I'm confused. I don't think that thing took a wrapper, did it? It did. Okay. Yeah, that's just a list. This type should be equal to any of these list types. For example, this one. AI thread say wrapper utils vector standard vector something construct. Yeah, but it says it doesn't have it. That's really weird. Don't get it. No match for operator. Huh? Either the error suddenly changed or I was looking at the wrong place. I know what I was doing. This is the error. No match for operator, square brackets. Yeah, apparently I'm trying to put an int, use an int as index into my utils vector, but that's not allowed. The whole point of that utils vector is that it only accepts certain index types. Yeah, okay. True. So here we run over over the number of input vectors. Yeah, that is no longer correct. We do not have a number of input characters, we just have a number of characteristics now. Let me just start at the top and check this vector get sorted push constant ranges. Print it out, blah blah blah. get a read log on and push constant ranges list, which is now a utils vector of vector pointers. We run over that. That looks wrong. Not incrementing I. Okay, let's use the index type now. So we have here the characteristic range index. Because that's the index of the vector that we are running over. And then we run over a vector that is being pointed to and print it. And at the end I should increment I. But you cannot do this now because sometimes that pointer will be null. So if it is not null, sorry, if the, yeah, well, it's not null pointer then. This is never going to happen. Because this always has a size now. I have to count the number of non-zero. Or do I? God damn. Let's look that up. Oh, I can ask ChatGPT. Okay, yeah, now count number of. You know what? I'm gonna ask ChatGPT because this might be something that it knows. Where is it again? Or did I close it again? Okay, close it again. Don't want ChatGPT. Open AI. Choosing. How can I count the number of elements in a standard vector using C++20? That are, sorry, let's say vector void pointer that are non-null. Figure it out in a one-liner. I should have added. Count if, yeah, well, that's what I was looking for. No, I don't want to use ranges. So count if returns the number of times that it. I'm still going to Google it. Count the elements which predicate P returns true. And then return value the number of iterators in the range satisfying the following condition. Example, count is 2. Num items is standard count. We have a standard. Do we have a count if here? Count div 4 printed divisible by 4 3. Yeah, nice. Okay. And this is then the element type. I can use void pointer, I think. Algorithm. We have algorithm. Let's compare it with ChatGPT's answer again. Yeah, the void pointer and equal null pointer. Yeah, okay. So then we'll have to store that as well. What does this return? It just returns a my count if difference type. Yeah. Let's use an int indeed. We also have a copy if. Okay, there has to be a back inserter. I think I already used copy if somewhere else. Number. It's not exactly what I wanted. Now I think about it. I want to do the full copy with a back inserter. Damn it. I don't know. I just use this. It's not really a number of characteristics, right? It's a number of characteristics that have added this. Let's use it, let's call it the number of input vectors or something. Yeah, might as well do this bill. Oh, I cannot do the resize then in advance. Oh, okay, we'll keep that. You gotta be kidding me, right? That unlocked thing here, that is, I think, is that what I think it is? Yeah, damn it. And there as well. Yeah, and then this can stay the way it was, I think. Hmm. What is my last error? Yeah. In the member function, conversion from int to non-scalar type characteristic range index. Number of input vectors was not declared. Expected semicolon. And instantiation of back inserter. That is not a class structure union type. Yeah, so my initial change was even wrong. This array here, storage array, is just a vector of vectors, not a vector of vector pointers. And now it is that again. And here as well, it's just a vector of vector. Required from here. Required. No match for call 2. Okay, so it doesn't want to convert something to a void pointer. What is this something? I think I have to pass void const pointer or something then. Maybe, but it seems ridiculous. No, yeah, but then again, let's try add a const. And otherwise I'll just have to use the full-fledged type, I guess. Maybe auto will work. Well, I guess that compiled. It's kind of ridiculous that this thing is in the header, right? Which function is that? Get sorted range. Let's move it. So the flat create info now puts everything in in an array that has just an element or a pointer per characteristic by the characteristic range index. And then I fix this merge, I hope, and the other merge, which is a template, I think. Merge. So I guess I still have to fix this one then. Let's use the same name as I used below for the elements in this vector that are vector pointers. I'm starting to think that the whole is unequal null pointer is just not my style, so let's remove that. And then things should work again, and then I'm going to warm up a pea soup, I think, because I'm too lazy to do the dishes and make dinner. Oh, well, it doesn't even compile. Well, yeah, forgot to rename these. Vec pointer and vex pointer. Developer. Yeah, me too. Might be quite recent. So you can see that, yeah. No. Maybe since C++ 17 they added this. Yeah, so it's pretty new. No, it compiles drum ruffle and it doesn't work. Damn it. Oh yeah, I expected that one. Added vectors must have a size that correspond to the size. Yeah, I didn't do that yet. So in order to get this working, oops. Common mistakes. And now you assume that I'm making mistakes. Jing or ling. Yeah, of course I make mistakes, but inheritance, yeah, I mean, too simple. Disruptive postponing. He's asking a serious question. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, common mistakes. Yeah, I don't know. I can think of a mistake, but any mistake that you can think of is stupid. Because you could think of it in advance. Are all keyboards mechanical? Well, I think it's super important not to have code duplication. That's super important. So if you use inheritance and that avoids code duplication, that sounds good. And then if you're talking about you shouldn't have used inheritance, then, well, you are trying to avoid code duplication. So then the only other alternative is that you make the base class just a member of your class. But that might require, kind of repeating the whole interface of that class. I'm pretty quick at. Okay, I can give you an example actually that is very dubious. So I have two very dubious things. Let me show the first one. That is, well, just edit any and then jump to it, I guess. No, not this one. Yeah, utils. The first super dubious one is I have a vector, my own vector in my own namespace. And it simply derives from standard vector. Well, take any textbook and they tell you never to derive from STL containers. So that's dubious, but why do I do that? Well, because this vector is a vector. It's just like the definition of inheritance. My vector is a vector plus something added. What do I add to it? Well, we have a t and an alloc, and here we have a t of an alloc and a t, so the thing that I added is the index here. And then what I want is that only that type, which is not an integer, but the wrapper around an integer, may be used for the operator square bracket and for the add. So I redefine these. Now you could still call them from that, but then you have to explicitly say I want to call the one from the base class. And if you're willing to type that much, then you probably know what you're doing. But under normal circumstances, you would just get this if you try to use this, if you try to use add or try to use square brackets. And then you can no longer use int because, well, that wouldn't work. You just have to use index type. And I also have, instead of begin and end, I have begin with an I in front of it, which then returns the index type. Because, yeah, you cannot very easily do int I equals 0, I less than size, plus I, because you cannot use I. You need to get an index type somehow. So I thought that would make would make sense. Yeah, I have another example, which is let me see. I think in pipeline. So here I made a class characteristic which actually removes something. So it's derived from characteristic base, but it is not a characteristic. Oh, sorry. Characteristic base is this thing. Characteristic base is derived from a characteristic range, and the characteristic is derived from characteristic base for reasons. But just think of it as that characteristic is derived from characteristic range. But my characteristic is not a range, so it's not a characteristic range. It's sort of. And I wanted to hide the fact that I reused the code from characteristic range to implement the characteristic by making it private. So then users of this class cannot access that anymore. And therefore, it isn't a characteristic base. You cannot even pass it to a function that takes a characteristic base or characteristic range reference or const reference. Yet I want to be able to use these things. So it's private, but except these. So you just say protected, and then you just repeat whatever you want, whatever is in the characteristic base that you want to use as protected. Same here, this one, I want this to be, it's also from the base class, but I want it to public. And this means that it just uses the constructor of the base class, so I don't have to redefine all the constructors. You just do this, and then all the constructors that work for that one now work for this one. And they are public instead of private. Ta-da! So that's pretty powerful. Yeah, I know. If you can call this abuse or something, but I think this comes pretty close to say that it is people could say, yeah, but the characteristic is not a characteristic base, but if we use it, we have to make it a member like this. So, private. But then I cannot do this. Then I have to really repeat the exact, certainly for functions. I think this is a function. So I would have to repeat the function. Let's say I'm sitting in the dark again. Void signals. You have to repeat it. And then implement it on top of this private member. That's true, that would work. But then I have to do that for these things as well, and these are members. So I don't know, maybe you can add accessors here that then allow you to access that. So you just, an owning window accessor, which then calls mfoo dot the accessor of that, or maybe you could add the references. No, I don't think so. That would really make it the class bigger. And you would definitely have to write all your constructors again, and then pass the arguments of that to the constructor of the characteristic base. So this is more, doing it like this is more work. So then, yeah, sometimes you just have to decide that you're lazy and that you want to do it like this. But if it is good, I don't know. I decided to do it like this, and sometimes I don't. Depends. Why did I write that? Yeah, and before I go eating, I wanted to get it to run again. Which means that every time I do an add or add to, whatever I pass must already have been sized. No. Wait. No, 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 no. What was the error? Maybe I'm not doing this. Did you call factory handle generate on the handle returned by create pipeline factory? Yep, I should have done that. Doing that here. Up one. Yeah, not easy. So I think I'll just quit and then go eat first. Otherwise, I'll eat an hour later and stuff. Doesn't make much sense. No idea what's wrong here. And I'm sitting in the dark, which is annoying me. And when I get up, I might as well go eat. So I'll be back later.